Good evening. It is your baby boomer Kitty Lane from the Peninsula in Virginia, here with the pop-up live from Create and Relate. How you guys doing this evening? I realized I hadn't been live in a little while, so I thought I'd come on and say hello. I will ask you in advance to please exercise a little patience with me this evening. I know I'm not my bright, bubbly, cheery self. We have a lot going on in the family, and I have a lot going on personally. I've told you all about some of my insurance struggles. It's not getting any easier. That bites big time. So I'm going to sit silently and crochet until I see someone come on with me. I promise to love you. I'm just a fool, a fool in love with you. Everything love, everything love. I don't know the words. It's one of the prettiest songs I ever heard. I'm just a fool in love with you. I'm having a lot of slips today. Those of you catching this on the replay, I would like to thank all 216 of my subscribers. I love you all so much. Thank you. Thank you, thank you, thank you. You have no idea how much that means to me and my family, my support, my backbones. Every time I get excited about it, they get excited about it. I remember when I was at 205, I yelled from my room to the kitchen and told my daughter, hey, I'm at 205. So the day she called me out, she was like, I told her I said I'm at 216. She goes, you didn't tell me when you were at 208. And I said, I told you. She said, no, you were at 205. You didn't tell me you were at 208, but I saw it. That made me feel good. Hey, look at baby girl checking up on her mama. If you wonder what I'm working on, I'm still doing candy corns because I have allowed myself to get involved in so much other stuff. as we crocheters do. Yes. And now I'm feeling that belt tighten. Hello, hello. I'm looking to create and relate. If you feel so inclined, let me know. I'm working on candy corns. So when you buy a new hook or a hook that you haven't used in a while, even though it's the same brand, same size, it's like you have to get used to working with it all over again. I'm an H girl, and I use boy hooks. And this is one of the classics that came with a kit. And I pulled the kit out. So I decided to utilize those hooks. The only thing I have trouble with is keeping this part full. It's like I will push the foam up there, and as soon as I withdraw my tool or my finger, it wants to come back out. I was looking at one of Jennifer's videos today, and she was saying that you can't overstuff them. Maybe I just need to use a little more polyfil. I don't know. I know that's the part that starts to get frustrating. Those that are here, thank you for popping in. I'm just working on candy corns. I'm trying to keep my mind clear. Yeah, had a death in the family. And, the feelings that come along with that. So I'd like to know who everyone is and how you're doing. And if you're working on something, what are you working on? Again, if you don't know me, I do apologize for doing a lot of shifting. Sorry, I got a text message. Let's see what. Here we go. Hello. Hi, Steve. Are you a crocheter, Steve? Hi, Froggy. Oh, bless your hearts. I love you guys. Little treasures. Yes, candy corn, Steve. And Lulu, hi. How is everyone? I appreciate the Froggy raid. I really do. Thank you, Froggy. I really appreciate you guys, especially today. It's been a hard couple of days. I uh, I found out yesterday by Instagram that I lost my sister. And y'all, I'm 60 years old and was raised 53 years of my life as an only child. So I only found my siblings when I was 53. That's good to know, Steve. So, what is your favorite thing to crochet? And thank you to the Southern Sisters. That's Auntie Maureen and crew, right? Hi, Auntie Maureen. How are you? That's fine. That's fine. And all handmade crochet. Hello. How are you? Auntie Maureen, I was telling everybody that I found out through Instagram yesterday that my sister passed. And, a lot of people probably wouldn't understand the relationship. I mean, you understand, the grief that comes along with that. But I just found my siblings when I was 53. I was raised my whole life as an only child. So I didn't even know I had siblings. I always wanted them. And thank you. Thank you, Auntie. But then when I found out that I was the baby of five, I was excited, and everybody welcomed me in with open arms. And, I was the baby girl, and they're telling me all kinds of stories about my dad and their life coming up. And then it was like they disappeared. I would reach out, and there were no return calls, unless it was like birthday. I'd say happy birthday, and they'd say thanks. But I was excited about being a sibling, about having a sibling. My nephew has constantly stayed in touch with me, and I absolutely love him for that. I love all of them. I do. I really, really do. See if I can catch up on these. Everything is so little. Thank you for the thumbs. I can do most all, no preference. Mr. Chat has been. Thank you, Steve. I appreciate that. But yeah, the whole situation is, it hit really hard yesterday, and there have been those sporadic moments today. I remember the first conversations I had with my sister over the phone. We talked about um, being teenagers almost all over again, curling up in bed, eating ginger snaps. And it was amazing when she said that because my favorite cookie is ginger snap. And she liked lemon ginger snaps. I like regular ginger snaps. And yeah, it was exciting to have a real sister to bond with, but the bonding just it never happened. But she's still my sister, and I still love her, and yeah, that's kind of where I've been all day today. Just in one of those up and down modes, I guess. I heard Miss C say one time about getting lost in the wave. You know how the wave will come up and get you, and just go with it and wait until it washes you back ashore. And that's what I'm doing. So, how is everyone? What is everyone working on? I will be passing out candy tomorrow in our trunk or treats, but I will also be passing out candy corns. I'm very new at Arigurumi. I'm still learning how to say the word. Thank you so much. Thank you all for being here. Um, Working on an Afghan. I'm still doing Boggy Creek blankets too. I am still doing the Boggy Creek blankets. Yes. Okay. I'll be out there. Hey. Yeah, hold tight 1 second. Hey, baby. Hey. Hey. Hey, baby. You're fine. Yeah, but I'm still working on the Boggy Creek blankets. I have 7 completed so far, but what has happened, what had happened was I decided I wanted to, I'm a borderless person. I'm not really big on borders. But then I decided, you know what, this isn't a personal preference type thing. So I decided today that I was going to go back and put borders on them. Finished another candy corn. I got a bag full of candy corns back here. And that's what I've been doing. And I'm setting myself up. I got like a conveyor type thing going on. So I'm keeping it busy. I thank everybody who's here from the Southern Sister Raid. I really do appreciate you all. Lulu, I welcome you and thank you so much. Um, I'm so new to YouTube that I don't have a Nightbot. But if you would like, please share your information so we can all subscribe. I think one of the greatest things that I've learned is how to connect so that it looks seamless. Oh, that is so beautiful to me. It really is, not only for the sake of it looking really nice, but when I decide I want to add to it, it's like I don't have a pre-planned position to go in because all of it looks really, really good. I can start anywhere. I've been crocheting for over 55 years. Um, I still remember. It's funny. I remember the date kind of, but not the year. I have to go back and calculate with that. I want to say it was 1969, but it was January 5th. And when I went to my babysitter's that day, she had the yarn laid out on the table. She had the hook laid out on the table. And I was wondering what we were going to do. I'm ADHD, so I was constantly talking, and she was constantly telling me to be quiet. And she would bribe me with stuff, and look, you don't have to do your chores today if you can be quiet for 5 minutes. That never worked. You don't have to go with me to feed the dogs. If she never bribed me with food or anything. I appreciate her for that. But it was always, like they raised dogs. They raised hunting dogs in city limits. Don't know how they did that, but um, when it came time to go to their kennels and feed them, I was terrified of those dogs. I had a dog. I had a German Shepherd, but those dogs didn't look like my German Shepherd, and they always barked at me. And hey, sis, how are you? But they always frightened me, because of their barking, and they always seemed to be like they were in attack mode. And Miss Lena and Mr. Larry would go inside the cages to feed these dogs, and I always had to go with Miss Lena when she went. She never made me go inside. She never forced me to do anything that would hurt me. But it was just the terrorizing moments of being there with them or being in the vicinity of them that just so I would I'd shudder. I would. I was raised by a very brave mother, so I didn't do a lot of crying around other people. I cried a whole lot at home, and I didn't cry a lot around other people. So I didn't do that around Miss Lena. And it wasn't that she was trying to break me or anything. She was just trying to keep me quiet. And be quiet just didn't work. So she started me crocheting. And my very first project was a poncho. My mother was a gym teacher at Forest Glen High School in Suffolk. And the colors were green and white. So that's how she chose the poncho colors. And then I made a granny square tam after that. And I started liking crocheting, but then she kind of messed up because she pulled out this twine. She went to the hardware store and bought twine, little thin, skinny twine, and had me to make this really long, thin piece of whatever it was. Come to find out, I was making lace to go on a bedroom sheet. I don't like working with the teeny weeny needles. I am rough with the needle. I don't know if you all can see that. That has been with me my entire life. I don't crochet dainty. I don't. And Miss Lena was not understanding that dainty was not my thing. I was a bit of a tomboy, but I enjoyed making the poncho and hat. And after that, I kind of put crocheting down for a while. It was something that I would pick up and do just to make the time pass or just to think. And I never completed anything again until I think it was like 2 years later, 3 years later, when I was in third grade. They were teaching crocheting, and I already knew how to crochet, and they were making pot holders. And I forgot, I think I made a scarf, and they were amazed at my speed, and I didn't think I was going fast at all. It did not look fast to me. It just looked like someone who knew how to crochet as opposed to others who didn't. That's what it looked like to me. And I become bored very easily. I'm also OCD, and thanks to events in my life, I suffer from PTSD as well, and anxiety disorder. So I got all the alphabets and some words thrown in there. I don't believe in medication unless it's absolutely necessary. I'm very thankful for my therapist because she teaches me tools as opposed to medicating. But I went from student of crocheting to teacher of crocheting, was something we did for that month. So I was helping my classmates make items. And it was fun for a little while. And then I didn't pick it up again seriously until I was in my junior year of high school. And I saw this lady making a what they call chevron nail. I learned it as the ripple stitch Afghan, and I was intrigued. So during basketball games, I would go sit up in the bleachers with her and learn that stitch. And when I felt I learned it enough, she told me to pick my colors and she would help me get started. So I asked my mother, what color Afghan do you want? She wanted red, black, and green. Okay, fine. We got the colors. I went back. As Florence was helping me with the Afghan, I took it back to her 2 weeks later. My mom was the scorekeeper at the basketball games. My mom comes running across the floor in the middle of the game. What are you doing? I was frogging it, y'all. I really was, because my ends were going everywhere. They were in, they were out, they were crooked, some were straight. They were just having a little dance going on the ends of the Afghan. So um, Miss Florence told me that she would help me go from that point if I wanted to. But being raised by my mother, I was like, no, if we do this, I want to do it right. So we took it all the way out, and I started all over again. And it was beautiful, and it's in storage now, and it's still beautiful 43 years later. It is absolutely gorgeous still. And I was so excited with that I made my grandmother a blue one, and she fell in love with it. She always had it on her bed. It went from washing machine to clothesline to her bed, and no one could lay on it. And because of that, I still have that as well. So I when I sometimes when I need inspiration, I will go in there and I will just look at those pieces. I'll just look at those pieces, knowing that my youngest daughter's favorite color is blue. She already knows that that one is hers, and the red, black, and green one will probably go to my son, as my oldest daughter had it for a little while. But I from that, I figured out that I absolutely love making blankets. So I became a blanket girl. And then when I was introduced to graph cans, that was a game changer for me, because in these parts, a lot of people hadn't seen that. So the fact that I was able to put important dates and names and teams, and other club affiliations into the crocheted work, it just everything just kind of took off a little bit, and I was in a happy space. I was in a happy space to be able to bring smiles to people's faces. That made me feel really good. I had another situation. Um, I read something today. I read something today that made me think of this particular situation. The young lady that to sum it all up, was saying that somebody was not happy with her pricing. And they brought up the fact that she had given crocheting to family members or to friends of theirs and wanted this particular crocheter to cut her a break. And I understood completely where she was coming from, because a lot of people don't understand, first of all, even though we get a lot of it on sale, and some of us are blessed being gifted this beautiful fiber, yarn is not cheap. Yarn is not cheap. Um, I don't know if anybody else is like I am, but I love being crafty. I love watching things take different forms. I was a carpenter by trade. I was also a licensed cosmetologist, because I love seeing things transform from one state to another. It fascinates me. You take this wood and lay it on the ground and put some nails in it, put a saw to it, and you have a house. And the things that you can do on the inside, the rooms that you can carve out of that. I've always been fascinated with things that can be created. And when people don't appreciate and respect that, it shouldn't be. I'm glad it isn't for a lot of people. Hello, Pebbles, and spreading joy, love, and happiness. Thank you, thank you, thank you, and welcome. But yeah, when people don't respect the fact that you are putting in your time and energy into making these items, don't feel bad saying no. Don't feel bad not backing down. I had a boss who came to me and asked me how much I would charge to make a tablecloth for a large dining room table with lace weight fiber. And when I told her the price, she goes, "Oh no, I can get a friend of mine to do it for free. I just have to buy her the yarn." Okay, then do that. And I think she thought that when she said that, I was supposed to change my mind and say, "Oh no, don't do that." So she goes and she buys this antique white. It was really pretty color, and it would have made a really wonderful tablecloth. And she says, "I didn't realize this stuff cost that much." And I was like, "Yeah." And now you're asking somebody to donate their time, And at this particular time, I'm raising a granddaughter, taking care of a sick mother, and I'm working full time as a front desk clerk at a hotel. No, no, I'm not donating that kind. No, no, I can't do that. And at the same time, she made floral arrangements. Try asking her for a free arrangement. It's not going to happen. Tell you what I feel about my crochet. But when I decide to donate something, that's something different. That's from the heart. You know what I'm saying? I don't like the drive that I was working with for a long time, the Grow Foundation, which is an organization that helps people in domestic violence situations. And I enjoyed making those blankets and those washcloths and those hats and scarves and fingerless gloves. I enjoyed doing that. This the Boggy Creek um, drive. I am loving doing that. That's my thing. I enjoy donating, but at the same time, when there's a business part of this too, and it's a little frustrating when people can't separate personal and business. Does anybody else have that problem? I know we got an asking going on. What else do we have to do, Kitty? People want me to give them exactly. I'm gonna try a sunbunny. I have to wait until I get all of this off my plate. I committed myself to doing crochet alongs every month, and this month was the runner or runners for my dresser nightstand and jewelry box, which I made those. But it was also in the midst of making the Boggy Creek blankets and whatever else came along. And then they wanted to do the trunk or treats out here in my neighborhood, and they're asking us to dress up. And they're also asking us to decorate our vehicles. Well, my vehicle is a medical scooter, but it has a basket on the front. And I am going to decorate it. And my costume, gotta weave in my end, but my costume is my witch's hat. That's gonna be my costume because my scooter is red and black. And when I made the first witch's hat, my daughter saw it and claimed it, which I knew was gonna happen. So I told her she could have that one. I made my own. And then I went to the store right away and I got the candy that I was going to give out to the kids. And I decided, you know, being that I just started making plushies and I really like it, I think it would be great if I gave all the kids plushies. There are not a lot of kids out here. So, exactly. Exactly. But I'm having fun making these. And in the process, I told myself, here again, a few days ago, I'm not starting another Boggy Creek blanket. I'm going to finish the ones I have because of the fact that I get bored so easily. It's not hard for me to have whips. It's not hard at all. I look at one thing long enough and I'm ready to move on to the next. So I made this into my own personal cake and I couldn't wait to see what it was going to work out to be. And I just let everything flow the way it was flowing. And that's the Temu Rainbow. I don't know which one. Um, not well versed in their language. And this is Big Twist Value Pound Plus Black. So that's the one that I just started yesterday. And then I have one that I call the Strawberry Patch. This is the one I decided I wanted to add some more to. I went today and got my yarn, which is the pink variegated, and I'm going to add more to it to make it look more like a border. I made my cornfield. And all of this except this green and this green, all of this is Temu yarn. The strawberry patch, all of the pinks are mainstay, and the watermelon is uh, Big Twist. And I really like the cornfield because it's really pliable. It's so stretchy. This one I was proud of because I love the pattern. I was sitting here trying to figure out what could I do, what could I do, what could I do. So I did what was in my mind, and it worked out. And I've actually made a dress out of this same yarn. It's mandala, and the colorway is gnome. Thank you, Steve. And I call this one Deep Rose. And of course, I want to add more to this one. It's the smaller of those, but I just want to add more. The middle circle was mine. I wanted to see how it would look because I did this one first, and I wasn't feeling the colors. I just wasn't that rust on the green. I just wasn't feeling it, but I didn't want to take it out, so I used that, and I came up with this one. And then I was going with the rose around it, and I was like, "Hey, it needs more tan. Hey, it needs something to really set it off." So then the yellow went in, and that's how this one came to be. But I want a border. I want a kind of thick border on this one. You saw that one. Of course, there's more going to be added to that one. This one started as the Journey to the Center of Earth by Mikey from the Crochet Crowd. And when I got to right here, this gray right here, I was not liking the color so much. So I stopped where I was and I started another whole blanket, and I did it in blues. And like I said, my youngest daughter loves blues. And for those of you who don't know, I have lost a lot of my mobility since April. So I am basically either in bed or here in this chair. I get up when I can and I move around as much as I can. And I thank you guys for the compliments so much. I really do. Thank you, thank you, thank you. But my youngest daughter takes care of me and helps me keep my spirits up. You guys do a lot for that. You really do. Sometimes I sit here in front of this computer and I'm so full of not being able to get up and get out like I want to. And just to have the camaraderie, just to have people with like minds to thank you so much, Pebbles. I appreciate you. I appreciate all the compliments. Thank you. But to have you guys just to hear you say, keep your head up. It does a lot for my morale. It really does. I Mm. I had 4 children. I lost one to crib death when he was very young, but I raised a total of 35 kids. Um, and when I tell you how they came into my life, I am so serious. They were friends of my kids. And it's like I would wake up one morning and there was another child sleeping in my house. And I'm like, God. And I honestly did not realize I was raising these children until I looked up and everybody was coming to me for senior dues. I'm like, you guys, I drive a cab. Really? But we made it. We made it. All 36 of us made it. We made it work. And I thank God for my mother and my aunt because they were there to help out in whatever way they could, whenever they could. And it just did my heart good to be there. I wanted to have 12 kids when I was a little girl. And everybody would laugh at me so much. Oh, you don't want 12 kids. I thought I was an only child, so I wanted the big family. And I reduced it to 6 to sound better for a lot of people, still wanting 12. But then when I got old enough to have kids, when I had the first, I was like, nah, we can't do this 12 times. That's fine. Okay. But yeah, and I love children. I absolutely love children. Um, I love being able to do things with them. I homeschooled my grandson when he was 3 years old because his birthday was in January, and he was too young for the 4-year-old program at that time. Not turning 4 until the end of January. So we did homeschooling, and it was exciting. This little kid is a prodigy, though, so I got lucky with him. Ugh, this little booger, and that's what I call him, my little yellow booger. But this little booger, his first sight word was "my." I taught him in sign language and I taught him in Spanish, me. So it's my, or you spell it out, my, or me. So that's how I started teaching him everything, everything. We started learning the animals, gato and pigs. And we just went on learning all the animals. And I put his sight words in front of him the third day I was teaching him. And I wanted him to pick out of this list of 40 words his one 2-letter sight word. This little ninja went through and read every word on that list. And I get chills right now just thinking about it. He picked up that piece of paper and he never having a book in front of him and read every word on that list. And when I went and got my daughter, I'm like, listen to this, listen, listen. She comes in and she listens. She says, you know why? And I said, why? She said, you remember how Destiny started singing before she started talking? I'm like, yeah. She said, you used to sing to Destiny all the time when I was pregnant with her. She said, and with Pete, you would read to him all the time. I was like, wow. I mean, I had seen it happen before, but this to me, when I tell you this kid, he's 6 years old now, and he's reading novels. Now, don't get me wrong, he's your typical 6-year-old kid. He can, mm, he can strike nerves, and he's a boy. Ooh, yes, he can strike nerves. That's him crying, and he's a typical kid. He cries because he can't have his way. But yeah, I enjoy the company of you all. Um, I enjoy going in on Auntie Carrie, Auntie Maureen and Auntie Froggy's lives because I feel like, and Miss C, um, I feel like I'm back at home in North Carolina, just sitting on a porch, sipping on lemonade in a rocking chair and crocheting. Now, Jaxie, I could vibe with Jaxie all day. I see the setting being so different though. I see sitting with Jaxie on a beach, or a park bench watching people and crocheting and just, and I wouldn't need earbuds. I would not need earbuds because I would just watch Jaxie singing and dancing, and I could see me now sitting on my scooter just dancing along with her. She has so much energy, you guys. I absolutely love her energy. You guys are amazing. I get so much inspiration from like Mama Kayla and Jennifer and Lisa. Lisa got me into this. Lisa makes plushies like, I don't know, like people grow hair. It's every time you, oh my goodness, she's got a different plushie, and I'm like, oh my god, that is so cute. That is so cute. So yeah, you guys are very influential in a positive way, and I appreciate that. And you're very warming and welcoming, and I do appreciate all of you for that. Um, I'm kind of wrapping up now because we have a late dinner tonight. It's weekend, and that's what we do. It's pizza night. But I just wanted to come on and just vibe with some people, and I thank you all for being here because my mood is a lot better. I feel a lot better. I was feeling really somber because my brother just decided to call me tonight, and it took my nephew to tell him to call me. But the fact that I heard from him is a plus, and that's what I'm holding on to more than anything. So, like I said, I really appreciate you all for being here, and I appreciate the love, the compliment, the company. I appreciate all of it. I want you all to focus always on loving yourself because that is the greatest love of all. And I want you to know from every angle of me that I do love each and every one of you as well. I don't have to know you. And it's not only because it's my God given duty. I am very much Christian, but I am very much a person who's full of love and peace. I vibe off of energy. I love the energy that you all give, and I just love having the opportunity to share that back with you all. So, you all go ahead on and have a wonderful evening. And, like I said, love you, and know that I love you too. Good night, everybody.